If you're in perimenopause or menopause and you're also on a GLP-1 medication, you've probably asked yourself, are these symptoms from my medication or are they my hormones? And that's such an important question because the two can look very similar. Fatigue, sleep changes, mood swings, weight shifts. And let's be honest, this stage of life already feels like enough of a battle without the added confusion of medication side effects. So today, we're going to break it down. I want to talk about what happens in perimenopause and menopause, how these changes affect weight and metabolism, and what GLP-1 medications can and can't do during this stage. And most importantly, I want you to know how you can support your body so you're not just surviving this chapter, but actually feeling stronger in it. Perimenopause is a transition period before menopause. Now, that's where your hormone levels, especially estrogen and progesterone, they start to fluctuate. Now, this stage can last for years, and symptoms often come and go. So, you have things like irregular cycles, hot flashes, mood changes, brain fog, and sleep disruption. Menopause is officially reached when you've gone 12 months without a menstrual cycle. At that point, estrogen levels stay consistently low. Now, here's why that matters. Estrogen helps regulate fat distribution, it protects muscle and bone, and it even influences insulin sensitivity. So when estrogen drops, your metabolism slows, muscle mass declines faster, and fat tends to shift to the abdominal area. That's why so many women say what used to work for them, it no longer works. It's not in your head, it's biology. GLP-1 medications work on appetite regulation, food noise, and satiety. They help calm the constant urge to eat, and they make it easier to recognize when you're satisfied. For women in perimenopause or menopause, this can feel like a lifeline because while hormones are making it harder to maintain weight, GLP-1s reduce overeating drives and they help balance blood sugar. But here's the key distinction. GLP-1s help with appetite and cravings. They don't treat hormone-driven symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, or bone loss because those issues aren't about hunger or appetite. So, if you're still struggling with symptoms while on the medication, it doesn't mean that the medication isn't working. It means you're dealing with two different layers: metabolic support from the medication and hormonal changes that need their own attention. One of the most overlooked parts of menopause is how quickly women can lose lean muscle and bone density. Lower estrogen accelerates muscle loss. And when you combine that with the appetite suppression from a GLP-1, the risk can be even higher. Here's why that matters. Less muscle means a slower metabolism. Less muscle also means a higher risk of falls and injury later in life. Lower bone density means greater risk of osteoporosis. If you're on a GLP-1 during this stage, think of strength training as part of your prescription, just like the medication. Even 2 to 3 sessions a week, it can make a huge difference. Think of it this way. The medication helps reduce what you don't need, but you still have to actively build what you do need: strong muscles, strong bones, and long-term stability. This is where so many women get frustrated. They might say, I'm exhausted all the time, or my sleep is a mess, and they wonder if it's a side effect of the GLP-1. The reality is, both can play a role. GLP-1s can cause nausea, fatigue, or sleep disruption early on. Perimenopause and menopause, they bring fatigue, night sweats, mood swings, and disrupted sleep. So, how do you tell the difference? Timing matters. If symptoms started right after you began the medication, it may be side effects. Tracking helps. Write down your symptoms daily: what time they happen, how severe they are, what else was going on. Patterns will start to show. Use tools. Apps like Mental Life Balance or even your Notes app, they can help you track patterns over time. Talk to your provider. Don't try to figure it out alone. Your doctor can run labs, adjust your dose, or suggest hormone support if needed. What you shouldn't do is assume it's all medication and just quit. And you also shouldn't assume it's all menopause and ignore it. Both can be true, and both can be managed. Here's the honest truth. Weight loss during this stage, it often looks different. The scale, it may move more slowly. Fat distribution may shift, especially to the midsection. That's why non-scale victories become even more important. Things like better blood sugar control, improved energy, and maybe even some muscle definition. If you've been comparing your progress to someone younger, stop right there. Your body is in a different hormonal landscape, and your success can't be measured against someone else's timeline. GLP-1s help even the playing field, but they don't erase the unique challenges of menopause. That's why your journey, it deserves its own definition of success. So what can you actually do to feel better and get results during this stage? Make protein a priority. Aim for 25 to 30 grams at each meal. Most women in perimenopause and menopause, they are under eating protein without even realizing it, and that accelerates muscle loss. Protein helps preserve lean mass, supports metabolism, and it keeps you satisfied longer. Strength train consistently. 2 to 3 sessions a week is one of the best investments you can make into your future health. Focus on big compound movements like squats, presses, and rows. These don't just build muscle, they also protect your bones, keep your metabolism active, and they help you stay strong and independent as you age. Include healthy fats. Avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil aren't just good for satiety. They also support hormone balance and brain health. At this stage, healthy fats become even more important for overall energy and well being. Protect your sleep. Poor sleep can make hot flashes worse, lower your energy, and even make weight loss harder. Keep your room cool. Cut back on late caffeine. And don't hesitate to ask your provider for support if night sweats and insomnia are disrupting your nights. Quality sleep is one of the most underrated parts of hormone health. Stay hydrated. Both menopause and GLP-1s can leave you more prone to dehydration. And dehydration doesn't just make you thirsty, it can intensify hot flashes, dry out your skin, and leave you feeling drained. Keep water nearby and sip steadily throughout the day. Talk to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy. Now, it isn't for everyone, but for some women, it can be life-changing. If your symptoms are intense, whether it's hot flashes, bone density loss, or sleep disruption, it's worth having that conversation with your provider. Now, I want to pause here because menopause isn't just physical, it's emotional. This stage can bring grief. Grief for the younger body you used to have, grief for your fertility, or even grief for old routines that don't feel the same anymore. And that's heavy. It can feel like your identity is shifting right under your feet. But here's the part I want you to really hear. Yes, this stage can feel like a loss, but it's also a chance for renewal. For many women, menopause is the first time they truly stop living for everyone else and they start listening to what they need. This can be the chapter where you finally make yourself a priority, where you begin saying no without guilt, where you start moving your body because it feels good, not just because you're chasing a number on the scale. When you combine that mindset shift with the support of a GLP-1, it's not just about weight loss. It's about rewriting how you live in your body. This isn't about chasing who you used to be. It's about becoming who you get to be next. Menopause doesn't have to be the end of something. It can be the beginning of the version of you that's been waiting to come forward. So let's bring this all together. Perimenopause and menopause bring real hormonal shifts that affect weight, sleep, mood, and energy. Progress in this stage may look different. The scale may move more slowly, fat may shift to new places, and non-scale victories will matter more than ever. But different doesn't mean impossible. It just means your journey has its own rhythm, and that's worth honoring. The most powerful thing you can do right now is work with your body instead of against it. That's the shift from fighting your body to finally partnering with it. If today's video gave you clarity, drop a female sign emoji in the comments and share it with someone else who's navigating perimenopause or menopause while on a GLP-1. And remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.